we can move on. You're already in the computer. No, no, not yet. Ah, you're using yours, but why don't you get with the hosting meeting account? Uh-huh. And you? Okay, if you have your computer, yeah, just go with your own computer. So everyone has computer, right? And is working, can operate either with their own or with the with some borrowed, with the one that is here. Okay, first I'm going to tell you about kind of the general objective of the clarification activity. So you're going to participate just as participant, not as an organizer. But most of the people who is here are going to do it in the context of some course. Okay, so that's fine. Um, First, I will give you like an outline of what is the context in some of the courses I have explained it, but in others I haven't done it so much. By the way, okay, so wait a moment. I need to have. Okay. Okay. So the point is, Glossal Lab so has the purpose of developing a transdisciplinary setting for the integration of science. Tomorrow I will be talking about the different modes of integrating science. In disciplinary science, this is a specialized context. Whatever integrates different disciplines can be of different kinds. It can be multidisciplinarity, it can be interdisciplinarity, or transdisciplinarity. They are different. Tomorrow I will be talking about that. Multidisciplinarity, I just will give you very short notice about, is when the disciplines are kind of working parallelly, but they do not communicate much among them. They just know that they need to fulfill some task. They provide it for the solution of a larger problem, a problem that cannot be tackled by only one discipline. But there is like not much communication between the different disciplines that are participating. In the interdisciplinarity, there is communication, and there is so the every discipline keep a perspective, their own perspective, and they usually have like different understandings for the concepts they are using. That creates conflicts in the understanding of the same concept. And the typical issue is that two people are talking using the same words, the same terms, the same voices, and they do not understand well each other because they, in their minds, there are different representations, different ideas, different concepts. In the end, finally, in the transdisciplinary setting, so we have like different disciplines, but they all are linked together by a common transdisciplinary theoretical framework, by a common theoretical framework. So we all understand, for example, the concept of systems, or the concept of information, or the concept of network. So some of them are abstract enough or general enough as to cover systems, information, or networks of any nature. So they can be physical, they can be chemical, they can be biological, social systems, or they can be technological systems. No matter of what kind, they all are systems, no matter how they are made of. Hmm? Those are transdisciplinary. One of the purpose of the platform I'm going to tell you about and you are going to work in is to develop that framework. But for that, we open an interdisciplinary dialogue to see what the different disciplines are understanding and to see in the interplay among the disciplines to see what collisions there are. So the underpinning of interdisciplinarity and why we want to underpin interdisciplinarity is because we know that there is a need. So in order to cope with complex issues, we have seen that multidisciplinarity doesn't work. It's not enough. So we need to go beyond that, and often not even interdisciplinarity is enough. We also need transdisciplinarity. So the project has been entangled with long-term projects like the International Encyclopedia of Systems and Cybernetics, and this emerged in the 70s in one problem that was observed by some of the founders of system science and cybernetics. They were discussing about the scattering effect of using different terminology or having like some ambiguities when the terms were used. Then they say, no, we need to clarify what are the different subdisciplines of system science, what is being understood. And this task was taken by Charles Francois for several decades, and did one of the largest encyclopedias this kind in general system theory. So the last edition that was in 2004. Another work of importance that we have inherited has been the Principia Cibernética. So similar to the Principia Mathematica that Whitehead and Russell tried to build up the foundations of all mathematics in the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. So they wanted to build up also the foundations proven so from for system science altogether. So for the different also points of view held in system science. So there were some people of Palo Alto and also some other from the Free University of Brussels and many collaborators from different places. So the last changes was done in 2009. Me together with some people were meet together on the Academy of System Science and Cybernetics, the International Academy of System Science and Cybernetics, pointed us to collect these encyclopedic corpuses or projects to continue in the long run. Myself, together with some colleagues, were coordinating this, the Glossarium Vitri, you already know, and this was an interdisciplinary glossary of concepts, metaphors, theories, and problems concerning information. Some of the people who are here around, so like Jorge and Sonia, who are sitting down there, they had been developing some of the clarifications ever since the beginning, so 2008, 2009. And all those contents together were brought into the project Glossal Lab. We developed the platform using the MediaWiki technology. MediaWiki technology is the same one that is supporting Wikipedia, and for the time being, Wikipedia is the largest cooperative project that has ever existed, with people collaborating at the same time. There are millions and millions of people collaborating, editing, or in the case of MediaWiki, so which is the technology, there are also a huge amount of people who are developing the support, and it's an open platform, so you could even do as a project. There is also large number of projects that are being supported by MediaWiki technology. MediaWiki also has how is it called? MediaBase? No, Wikibase. No? Wikibase. Wikibase is a more structured collection of, in this case, of data, and there is wiki. There is also media, which is for pictures and so on, and all of them can be integrated. It can be used, and the different projects can communicate, can share, can contribute to that larger platform. There is some difference with respect to Wikipedia, but there are also some similarities. So the similarity is that the way of operating is the same. So we are using the same technology. By learning and by editing here, you could then later also contribute to Wikipedia. But Wikipedia is not a qualified, so the content is not qualified. So when you go to Wikipedia, you can find very good contents, but also bad contents, and you can never be sure whether they are qualified, they are good or not, they are right or wrong. You can find many good ones, but again, I insist, also bad ones. So we want to qualify the contents also with a strategy of review that is interdisciplinary. So we want to cover several knowledge domains. We take care that this is being also reviewed by someone with the expertise of those disciplines. Okay, that's one of the differences. So the qualification of the content. Then another difference is that through the semantic annotation we are making, Wikipedia is not semantically annotated. There is something that is supporting as the technology regards. This is called semantic MediaWiki. No? Semantic MediaWiki. Wikipedia is not using semantic MediaWiki. We are using, and that enables the semantic annotation. With this semantic annotation, we use it for an additional purpose. So we want to visualize also how the knowledge system evolves and how conflicts arises. So when different disciplines come together to discuss so the same concept and things like that. So we want to see. I will show you something about what kind of things we can see. So the project that has been behind, so we were running one in between 2019 and 2023 that was for the platform, then taken to educational context. There was one project in the University of León in 2019 that I started to apply also here in the Hochschule München. In 2021, another for educational innovation in 2022 as well. And we have another project that is running from 2025 to 2027. One is Clean4, which is to bring also a clear language or plain language to the clarification processes to our corpuses. Actually, the project is larger, is to develop tools and also to apply them to different corpuses, also for social interest or, for example, context from the administration. There is another project, which is kind of the continuation of the Glossal App, which is Glossal App Dixit, which is for introducing the semantic annotation, and it runs in the same period of time, so from 25 to 27. So right now we are in the mid. So some of the people that you see here, we are meet together here because we are developing part of that project. The articles that you will find and the ones that you will develop, when they are already reviewed and they are published, they will have like this structure. And the structure is that on the top you have like a short description of the content that is being clarified, and then more specifically, so from different perspectives, is being clarified here in different subsections. You will find here an info box, and the info box is something important and enable us to gather more information which is relevant. So the authors, first the collection. So in your case, in the case of educational context, so all of them will be glossalab.edu, which are the ones that are applied to educational context. Then the authors, the curator, in this case, would be the coordinator, so the teacher who is coordinating the clarification activity. So for many of the people who is here, I will be the one who is making that coordination. Then there is an identification, the date of publication, and in case that some version we can have different versions. So for example, I may show you some article that we have so from past year or for several years ago, and that I consider that is worth providing more additions or to complete it. There is something missing. Then we can have one version that we could recover what was that, and then to have the date for a second one. We have also access to the review if there were some comments for the review, and that's considered okay. This passes. This is good. Also, if it is classified, and finally the knowledge domain that concerns the clarification activity. Okay, so this is kind of the general structure of the article that will be published when everything is done. So this is actually, wait a minute, we were here. Okay, this is, you already know, you have already entered it. This is the way it looks right now. In this case, in your case, you will see your user. So I suppose you're already in and you have your user there, right? Okay, so that is done. Everyone has their user. Okay? So that's something which is important for what we are going to do next. This is an example of how the activities were previously. I'm going to show you how are working now. But as the contents regard, they are similar. So they work differently, but they are similar. So you will find an introduction on the top. You will find also some guidelines about how to work, how to edit, how to introduce bibliography and things like that. Then you may find also some specific objectives of the activity directed to the, for example, of the course, or if it is in the context of a scientific congress. So what are the specific objectives we are addressing in a particular clarification activity? Then you will find also, as we will see later, so proposals of contents that you need to address. But I will explain that later. This is the case of one article that was Truth, that was published years ago, and the way it will be shown now, as I said, is with the info box. But it will be identified, in this case, is the student. So there are many articles that has that form. It will take us a time until it has the current form, because all the templates has been done recently. So it has been identified, the student. It has been This is also an important part. You have, for every article, you have always a discussion section. This is important because some of the activities you have to do is also discussing what is there. Because in principle, you cannot edit one article that is already published. You can only edit directly, and so that you can see what you have edited. You can only do that in the draft namespace. The draft namespace is an space that is not searchable, directly searchable. So you can find it, but so the amount of articles that we have in the platform make it practically invisible, because we have, how many articles we have, pages we have, is the more than 5,000, 6,000, about 5,000. And the draft ones are not searchable. So they don't, Google, for example, the search engine, don't get that information. So then they are not going to be seen. So then you can work on them quietly in the draft. But here, the articles that are being published, you cannot publish directly. So you can click on the edit, but you won't see if you make any changes. And then it's problematic if you do that, because if somebody else would like to change something, then wouldn't see yours, would see the previous thing, and it doesn't work. So if you want to interact with some article that is already published, then go to the discussion. The discussion is a place for interacting with the article that is already published. In this case, is one article within the context of the collection Glossarium Glossalab Edu. But you could also make a discussion, write down making comments in some of the contents of the encyclopedia or of Glossarium Vitri. You could go to any of them and then type your comments. Okay, and you also have like the whoever is the teacher or the coordinator of the activity, and also the context. The context in this case is the subject of the activity. If it were a scientific congress, so the congress. This is the structure of the Glossalab. So we have at the same time several collections. The collections are relatively independent from each other, so they have an autonomy. They have their own game rules. Like for example, the criteria, the quality criteria might be different. One needs to review 3 times, other may be willing to review 2 times. In the case of Glossalab Edu, so the review of the teacher is enough to be qualified as an article to be published in the Glossalab Edu. So this is one. But we may have also others. So actually, the platform is kind of offering the possibility that you create a collection that somebody so needs to have some specific user. So no, not the normal user, but if somebody wanted, can request it and could create a collection. And we have several collections that are already interdisciplinary, like for example, Glossarium Vitri, or like the Encyclopedia was, or like the Principia Cybernetica. And then we have also a refinement, like a collection of all the articles that promote until the most transdisciplinary so encyclopedia, that we call it the Encyclopedia of System Science and Cybernetics online. That was the original proposal. There is no article on that level. So we have like some proposals, but still there is no article in that at that level. But any, as I said, so any of those collections are relatively independent. If we move upwards, they are more abstract and more general. If we move downwards, it can be more concrete. Uh, in the beginning, you only work at this level, the level of proposals, which is the same thing that discussion. So you can discuss and the contributions of any proponent you are will be moving here. So in order to get to any collection, it needs to be promoted through the review. Only so the contents, the published contents contains this part. So of course the lower level is what everything is where everything starts. We are working in the semantic annotation. So what does it mean? So we have persons. So the first thing you're going to do is to create your profile as a person. The persons are authors. The person can be also administrators, like the curators that I have mentioned, or they can be also editors. They can belong to an editorial board. They can be, persons can be also reviewers. So you see, person is author of articles. Person is reviewer of one article, and is author. This is author of other. The administrators, they so already have like special capacities. They can be curators. They can be editors, or they can be just administrators of the platform. At the same time, there is something which is important that for students is not so much, but for scientists is more important that this is being concretely well annotated, which is the expertise they have. So one person has expertise in one, this KD is knowledge domain. So we have classified all the knowledge domains using the international classification system, the international decimal classification, a derivation of it to cover all the range of knowledge. So from general science to natural science, social science, applied science, even the arts and so on. So practically all can be referred, and this describes that one person has one capacity, but this is kind of a qualified capacity. So they are trained, they have the degree, whatever, and they have expertise. This is something that has to be declared when the profile is being created. But I insist. So in the case of the of the scientists, this is more important because they are the ones that can be reviewers. So for the qualification of that. So with all those annotations is what enable us also to make that the federated systems of collection works, and also to retrieve information and so on. Okay, this is about what is the conceptual system. If we were working in a disciplinary setting, when we start to clarify concepts, or when we describe about one theory or whatever, people, so the scientists, they have some background knowledge. The background knowledge has like kind of two parts. One is more conscious, the other is not conscious, and it's not being declared directly. So then you ask concepts that are important and make a list of maybe imagine 20 concepts. Then these 20 concepts start to be defined, and then you see that maybe 50 concepts, 100 concepts, 500 concepts emerges. And they are needed in order to explain what whatever is that about. No? So we are talking about the theory of presentations, no? Or the theory of making tables. No? And when we do that, then so consciously we propose like a list of concepts, but then we start to explain what the table is. We have tried that in the seminars, and we have seen that in order to define information, knowledge, data, so you need to use many other concepts. So when we do that, we are kind of declaring also that background through the clarification. So the conceptual system is kind of the relation that exists between the different parts of the different contexts in order to support of the broad spectrum knowledge. So the conceptual system, it can't be also mapped through a network, conceptual network. The conceptual network, when we link, if this is the conceptual network, we have several contexts, and when we link the concepts, imagine the concept that has arisen in some of our courses, like data, information, and knowledge. So data is so information is structured data. When we speak of knowledge, then it's supported by data. Knowledge is being supported by information, and may require the connection with other concepts. Through all those declarations, while we are explaining that, we are establishing here verbal relations or prepositional relations or adverbial relations, and all that enable us to kind of represent a map, a knowledge map, which is at the same time is a conceptual network. If it is a disciplinary setting, everything fine. It happens that all the agents speak the same language. All the speakers, all the agents, knowledge agents, have in their heads, so to say, have in their heads the same network, conceptual network. So when they speak to each other, it's kind of, they are kind of moving all in the same network of knowledge, in the same conceptual network. When they interact, they may say, this is the case, this is not the case, and then a statement that is moved here, we say maybe we should change. So what happened in the development of a theory, in the development of a scientific context, is that often through the observation of reality, the different agents in a discipline, they say, okay, we need to change something. For example, this is never the case. No, we make a combination of all the concepts that we use, or we say, okay, if this statement, we never find it in reality. Or, for example, just by a logical demonstration, we say that this can never be the case. So either inductively or deductively, we can point out this cannot be, or this can be, or this is always the case. So by observing that, then we can also move our knowledge system, and then the discussion. Indeed, some observers, some scientists make some observation and see that something is the case, then discuss with the other, and they say we need to change a little bit. What about if we display it this way or that other way? And then this is a representation of the knowledge. The knowledge that is being qualified moves from one state to another state. So knowledge always evolves so dynamically as well.
How you are called, like, in terms of like the language changes, because whenever like look back in history, you've used a different language, there's different things, and it's language and like reform again and again. So how do you
here I'm talking, the example I'm giving is kind of, we are moving in the same language. Because if we are talking about one discipline, a discipline has like a kind of a controlled vocabulary, controlled terminology, and then there is not the problem you're pointing out. But the problem happens here. So this is kind of what you are saying. What happened when we are bringing together different background knowledge? So, for example, what Casper is saying, what happened when over time we have different backgrounds? And what happened when we bring it together? When we try to see what was known before with what is known now, or what happened when we bring, for example, together some physics with something from social sciences, for example, in the understanding of information and also from technology. So when we combine all that, then we have difficulties. In some of the seminars, I was talking about genetic information. So if we have genetic information, we have what the understanding of information in biology. This is quite different to information in the context of knowledge in human information exchanges. Okay, so this is the issue, and this is the issue we want to deal with. And this is a representation of something that we did in the Glossarium Vitri. The Glossarium Vitri, we took the edition of 2016, and with that edition, we took all the sentences and we made a co-occurrence network to see the frequency of the relation in the statements, in all the statements that has been expressed in the Glossarium Vitri, and to see the frequency of co-occurrence. What does it mean, this frequency? That many times appears in the same sentence, and a sentence is a unity of sense, of meaning. So that means there is a semantic connection. So if there is a semantic connection between, for example, science and theory, and this is strong, so these two concepts are very strongly related. These are not so much social and science, but this is still, because actually this is filtered with the ones that are highly frequent. So we see the different frequencies, and we see also the different weight of concepts that are being referred in the Glossarium Vitri. So with this, we can see, for example, groupings. We can evaluate the distance that exists between two concepts, the average distance, and with that, it enables us to see structural properties. With those structural properties, we measure the diversities of the disciplines that are involved, if we annotate, as we do now, the knowledge fields, and we see the effective integration through the small coefficient, which is a relation that exists between the average distance and the grouping. This is what we can do imagine in philosophy. So we have like several so clarification activities. One concerning epistemology, other in ethics, other in ontology. If we do that, then all of them could be taken to a collection in philosophy. In Spain, we have been running for several years already, 4 or 5 years. We have been doing this for telecommunication engineering. So in telecommunication engineering, we have many fields that are covered, and they even have like different levels, 2 sub-disciplines, and then finally one collection for that. And this enable to integrate knowledge. Sometimes you may have probably have the feeling that while you are studying, I see here people who is studying different degrees, different matters, and sometimes while you are studying, you feel kind of a scattering effect in learning this matter and then that other matter, and you feel the disconnection, sometimes the disconnection. So the idea of this is trying to keep together and to see so what the connections are. And this, Casper?
So last time in the last course, I took part the different connection, how like the language, for example, or you remember how like Russian and non-Russian language relates to English and how it's translated.
Yeah.
So we basically done the same, let's say, models of Randy, but applied it on science itself, or like Wikipedia's words we use in France.
Yeah, in the end, so one of these collections were like having a kind of an encyclopedia, thematic encyclopedia. But when we collect all this kind of an encyclopedia means the integration of knowledge. Encyclos paideia, so the original parts are encuclus, which means the circle, which is the universal, and paideia means the learning of everything. Encyclopedia. Okay, and this is the activity we are going to carry out, which is composed by two parts. One, okay, we are here because that's for the coordinators. The first part is creating the user profile. And then we have a second part, which will be participating in a clarification activity. We are going just playing with an example. You will see how it is divided in reading. You don't have the time for reading now. See how you discuss, and then you get to the last part of the activity. If we just select one article that is being proposed because it's still not clarified, and then you open it. You may do it with some people, not alone. It can be with some people together, and then you open one. You list the authors who are going to participate, and you start editing. You can do something as example, nothing important as a content concerns, and then you edit it. When you are done, you just send it as a review. Request a review, and then the teacher, the organizer of the activity, will take care of it and will review it. If the review is successful, it will be published. The article will be published. If not, then it may come back as improvement needs to the pool of possible voices to be working later. Okay, that's kind of the outline of what you are going to do, but then we can start going to the clarification. But in the first, we are going to do a pre-test. Can you make a picture of that to get the code, or I can set it in the website. I will set it in the website. Oh, sorry. Let me find. Can anyone put the in the website in the Meet the pre-test is the pre-test. Sorry. Oh, this is the pre-test. No, okay, yeah, no, but this is the post test. Oh, okay. No, don't make the post. No, do the pre-test. Pre-test. What is it? I don't see it.
So we shouldn't use the yeah, the QR result value is correct.
This is, I think it's this one. This is the pre-test. I think this is the pre-test.
Say pre-test. It says pre-test. It's visibility cases. Exactly.
Okay, for the people who is connected outside, I have said it through the chat. in the second part, I'm going to show you how it is a clarification activity. So I hope you're done also in the people online. So this is an example of a clarification activity for understanding complexity. This is the draft, so this is not the one you're going to do. This is kind of just for testing. And then you find here a kind of clarification about what the clarification activities are, so what they are about. So what I told you before, that we are clarifying, like in the network of different contexts, that our largest context is this transdisciplinary endeavor of clarifying transdisciplinary concepts. So we have on information, we have on systems, we have many contents. As I said before, close to 5,000 articles. And the idea is to clarify within that network. Then it provides also like some guidelines. The guidelines take you to a help page that gives you guiding on how to do specific things. Like, for example, how to specify the references, how to introduce quotations, how you introduce equations and things like that. So it gives you detailed information about that. By the way it will be is going to be like more organized, like in different kinds, so that it's easier for you to find, for example, how to reference it. So for you, this will be always at reach. Coming back to here, and you will see like a list of the most common so help pages for you to guide you. And then you have the contextual objectives. The contextual objectives, I have put it just the content that in one of the activities has been described, but this is kind of restricting a little bit more the scope. So we are working within Glossal Lab, but within Glossal Lab, the activity it contains just like a specific field, so a set of problems. So this is what is being declared here, and then I propose, or the proponent suggests a reading list. So concepts to read, and the first thing you should do is reading. So now you don't have time. Some of these articles, maybe some of these are short, but others might be long. Complexification can be complexity, information ethics, call more of complexity system. The point is in the first part, so your first step in participating in the clarification is that you go to some of these concepts. You can click on it, so you can look first, type in draft, column understanding complexity. Notice the caps. So it's big letter. So understanding complexity. So it's sensitive, low case, high case, sensitive. So go there, and then see the reading suggestion. So the first thing you can do is go to any of them, and then write a comment in the discussion. So some of them will be empty. We may erase it afterward, by the way. Sorry? Any comment, whatever. Any comment, yes. So, okay, I think complexity is important. So, whatever, something. Where exactly? You go to some of these articles, and you write. You go to, for example, I'm going to one of them. You go here to information. Discussion is read for the time being, but then you write here. You can if you, instead of create source, you can click on create, and you have the visual editor, and you can write here a comment. The problem is that you are going to collide. You're many, and I didn't put enough, but the idea is that you know how to enter. Later, I'm going to erase it. So the important thing is that you also acknowledge where they are, and you know how to click, how to edit, prove that it's editable. Okay. Okay. So save it. So if somebody has edited before, no problem. So just append it. So we are going to enter some. Yeah, obviously it's an important topic. Then go down and just record it. Save page. Okay. Are you done? Done. 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 Okay. Are you done? Okay. So then the next thing you will see is a number of proposed voices. Adaptive network, adaptive system, conceptual network, link, node, nominal network, Norbert Wiener, who is an author of system science, viable system model. This is also, so they are relevant concepts. So you just go enter, and by the way, consider that every 2, 3 talk to each other and say that you are going to work together. For example, here the 3 and one of you do it. It's not necessary that the 3 does it, and then you for example take one of them and then start to edit it. So then you click now. Right now, all of them are available. So then click on one. Or YouTube, maybe you do it. So you are alone. And you can do and you can do after group. So for example, I'm going to open one. When you have already entered the list of names, then the status has changed to open, to be open, and then you have to edit is just a normal editor. You click on edit, and you click on edit. When you click on edit, you start to just write something. It's not important what you write. As I said, we are going to erase it afterwards. I'm going to take away mine. So now all of them are open. Imagine, so at the beginning there was all of them were open. Sorry, all of them were ready, were free to be developed. Now all of them are open. Imagine when you get all of them are open. We will add one button also to suggest whether one concept can be added. For the time being, you can also request to the organizer. So I would like to have this concept, and then the organizer can add if he considers worth. In any case, always has to go through the organizer, who is the one who determine whether this is worth to be considered or not. But another possibility is that you want it because you want, for example, to work on the adaptive systems. And for the adaptive systems, you click on it, it is open, then you go, and then you see, okay, David, and who is David Leon? And Kaufman is only one person? Who's Kaufman?
Leon Ziegler and Kaufman.
Leon, okay, Leon Ziffel and David Kaufman. Okay, sorry. Yes. David Kaufman. Okay, we already have two, but it doesn't matter. So I can say I can go to the discussion, and then no, another thing. I can do the following. I can go even more directly, and then go to Leon, and then ask to Leon. Then I see, okay, Leon. I can't remember. Actually, you didn't give much information. You could even say, okay, I'm participating in this course or whatever. Then I remember who Leon was, particularly if you would put your picture. Then I remember, okay, Leon was there. Where is Leon? Ah, yes. I lost you from my visual space. And then we send a message. What is it? User related sensing. So,
Yeah. Um,
strange.
When you get out of here and you scroll a bit down,
Danny?
you have to leave the tools. You have to leave the tools, not on this one, because you have to scroll on the book page down. Yeah, on the top is a message icon.
Where?
Sorry.
Danny? Why Leon Sibel doesn't appear here? Send a message. That doesn't want no, but only how do you restrict it, Leon, that you don't want to get messages from other people? This is strange. Let me go back. Yes, that's what I was thinking, but this is kind of strange.
so you have to set a edited forms.
In any case, if another user can write on the discussion page of the user page.
No, there is no user. You didn't make a user. You didn't do it. No, how do you do that? No, user.
Yeah. Can you send me the preferences? Only the preferences. I'm changing it. Go down. Ah, it's not complete. You didn't confirm, so that means you never confirmed here. But then how is it possible now? Because now you have blocked. Always have blocked.
Change the email.
You may have changed the email. You didn't? But in any case, confirm your email. But it changed, it sent you a confirmation email. So it's important you go to the preferences
And ensure that because otherwise, if somebody is making changes and you're not a confirmed user, here in the preferences, you click on, and then you will see here. In my case, I see here nothing. Email confirmation. Your email address was confirmed. In this case, was in November 2023 that we changed something in there. Because mine is confirmed from earlier.
I just confirmed.
Okay. But I say for everyone, ensure that you see in the email options when you get into the preferences, because when you add to the watch list, if something is being changed, or if the reviewer, the coordinator, make a comment, you won't see it. You will not be noticed it. Otherwise, if you are confirmed, you will get a message from the system, and another person can send you a message without the need of knowing your email. So your email is just kept by the system, and you can write to anyone in the group. Okay. So, but for that, you need to confirm. You need to ensure that you are confirmed. And for that, go to your user profile. In the user profile, you go down, email options, and you see that the email confirmation, your email address was confirmed on whatever date. Okay, are you already confirmed? Huh? Yeah? Okay, then I go back to to the place, and then I should go. Maybe it takes some time. You have a new message from another user. What is that? I don't know. Email. So this is what happened when you're already confirmed. Other person can send you an email, and then you could write, for example, to Leon and say, okay, I would like to collaborate with you in this article. Is it fine? And if it's fine, then you could directly go to the article that was adaptive system, edit with form. You agree, and then you add your name. For example, in my case, I could add my. So mine is a little bit problematic. And it is in addition. Okay, so just write something. Write something in the articles. Write something. Consider a sentence